Professor Möller, I'd like to talk to you about the so-called digital revolution. The digitalization of work and production is a major theme in many advanced economies, not least in Germany. Many experts indeed call it a digital revolution. But technological change is nothing new. Why are we specifically talking about a revolution here?
Whether it's a revolution or not, that I think that can be decided upon in 20 or 30 years from now. But what can be said, it will really cause deep changes in working life and for society. I think that of course we had technical changes over the decades, which also was very profound. Think of the revolution in agriculture during the 1950s and 1960s. After the end of the Second World War, more than 25% of the population in Germany was working in agriculture. Today it's roughly 1% or so. That's really a huge structural change. Or think of textile industries that were among the major employers in the 1970s, still in the 1970s, and today there's only very few firms that are left over. So we had a lot of structural change, and or think of the steel mills in the rural region. Nothing left in some of the cities there. So we had a lot of structural change also in the past, but this time I think it changes our attitude to work to a specific in a specific sense. I think the main topic is networking, which becomes important. The Internet of Things, that machines or other objects are communicating among each other. The networking between, say, firms and other firms, supply chains that become really effective. Or another point, I think it's also important, the network between the producers and the consumers, so that the consumer can decide which or how the product should look like. So it's what is called the individual mass production that becomes more and more important. So you can design your own table in a very specific way, for example, and equipment in your house, etc. So this gives huge opportunities. What will be changing is the working life itself. Think of the collaboration of robots and humans in typical work process. 10 years ago, if you went to an automotive production, you saw the robots within a cage. Today, robots are more and more leaving the cage, and they are cooperating directly with humans. And this will become very normal, in my view. This is in production, but I think also in services, where robots are not are digital robots within the communication system, and within the computer or the internet. And this will become very normal, that we are interacting with robots, and I think this will change the working life profoundly.
To what extent is the digital revolution a job producer, and to what extent can we talk about it as a job destroyer?
It's always at the same time. It's a job. There's job destruction and job creation, and in the end, it's my opinion, but we also have some scenario studies on that the total demand for labor will not change very much. But below the surface, we have a lot of turnover. There will be structural change. So some firms are closing down, others are opening up, and this will be accelerating. But I think that there's a very nice article, by the way, by John Maynard Keynes, of an article from 1930, where he introduces the notion of technological unemployment, and he argues that technological unemployment is only valid for a period of adjustment. If the technical development is faster than our ways of finding new use for labor, then for a certain time it can be that technical unemployment takes place. But in the end, I think in the past we always have found new ways of employing people and finding new tasks for them. We have some studies on the substitutionability of labor through robots and other techniques, and what comes out is that typically the professions do not disappear, but the tasks within a profession, they will be changing. Take, for example, a chimney sweep. What he or she is doing has changed a lot. 20 years ago, it really was manual work, cleaning of the chimney. But today it's sort of specialist in measurement of pollution, or it gives advice to heating systems, etc. So the tasks within this profession have completely changed. And this is true for a lot of professions. Take a secretary, they're not typists anymore, they are organizers, so the tasks within this profession have changed.
What needs to be done to ensure that we profit from this revolution? And how can we minimize the risks associated with it?
Let me come back to John Maynard Keynes. In his article, he has a very interesting sentence, and he is arguing that those firms or those regions or those countries who are in advance to others, they will profit from the new technological development. Those who are behind, the latecomers, they will perhaps suffer. And I think that is really an argument and one should really take serious. So there's no sense in hindering the new technical progress. I think it will come in the one way or the other. But on the other hand, I would also argue that it's not a deterministic process that cannot be altered by humans. It can be shaped by for example, by social partners within the firm. The employers and employees should work together and try to shape this new development and find compromises, for example, because of course the interest of both sides are affected. But if there is a well-functioning system between the social partners, I think compromises can always be found. Our Labour Minister, Andrea Nahles, she has coined the notion of flexibility compromise in this context, and I think that's really a useful notion. We need to consider interests of both parties, and there are so many possibilities of shaping the new development that it is in the end to the benefit of people.